Welcome everybody to today's episode, which is all about how force doesn't work. So, I am your host, Dustin, and I'm really excited to be here with you today as we dive into this really juicy magnetic energy that's happening in the world right now. Apparently, Lionsgate portal, which I have no idea what it is, but I resonate with a lion. So we're going to get into some juicy stuff today. But as always, you guys, if you don't know me, my name is Jen. I'm a certified magnetic mind and recode coach. And our intention in Spiritually Kinky is all about helping you remember who the fuck you are and what you came here to create. And today we're going to how force doesn't work. How we've been taught to push against the flow, and how truly honoring our feminine energy can lead us into the life that we've always desired. Now, rest is power, and it's time we claim that power back. So, I'm not saying to spend all of your life in rest. We're going to talk about the process of creation and how it requires both whole masculine and whole feminine energy, and how those things come together. Because the truth is I want you to take a moment, and wherever you're listening to this or watching this, I want you to take a moment and just put your hand over your and just allow yourself to breathe in deep, and just feel the pulse of the creative force that you are within, babe. Because that creative force is you. And let's honor that, and let's anchor into this truth as we move forward, so we can move forward by becoming it. And then I'm going to teach you how to get into the creative structure, right? Because you are not wounded, but we sure have fallen for the big lie that we are. And the lie was intended to harm us, it was intended to help us, right? But we fell for the performance, we fell for the pretending, right? We just pretended we weren't it, but it's never been true. So here we are about to dive into the power of rest and creative flow. And what if everything that you've been taught about pushing through and forcing progress has been actually holding you back? And babe, you may feel a little lost right now, and you may feel a little on the inside. And that's because we are in a shift. We are in a shift, and shift is happening. And help remembering that, and you want to know where you are in this shift, stick around to the end, because you can get my free Shift Happens guidebook that can show you where you are in your shift, right? And can teach you and show you about structure and what to expect in this shift as you embody who you really are. Because that's the shift. The shift is the embodiment of who you really are. But the human loves to force. We've been taught to force in survival programming and survival structure and problem structure. We've just been taught this, and we just got it wrong. We just got it wrong. And this has been coming up in the field for literally the last 2 weeks with myself. You know, it has been a heat wave in Michigan, hot and moist. It has been something. And yesterday, it finally rained. Oh my goodness, it finally rained. Oh, so beautiful. I got to walk outside. Oh, I got to feel the rain on my face. I got to feel like the steam coming off of the ground, and I just got to feel the earth take this just this relaxation and release. And I felt it in the earth, and it just was so powerful. And I felt it in myself, and I was like, ah. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to rest, we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to recalibrate. We don't allow ourselves the beauty of receiving. And this isn't because you need to be fixed or that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that you haven't gotten the conscious education to understand how you've structured yourself. Because you are whole masculine and feminine energy, babe. You rode in on the wave of an orgasm. And let me just tell you, you are not your shell. You are the seed inside. That is who you really are. And this isn't about the resistance. This is about your remembering. But it's so funny through my remembering how I force things a lot because I've definitely been passed down those instructions. So one of the things as I was searching for the some of the main instructions that had been running my family that I had seen with me, that I'd seen with my mom, my aunt, my grandma, and stories that had been passed down. And we learned how to force things. There was a will, there was a way. We learned how to force things. And my mom had said something pretty that made a whole lot of sense a few months ago. And it was in regards to a conversation she was having with my brother. And she said, "You can't hit a moving target." And I was like, that makes so much sense. Because my grandmother never stopped moving. My mom doesn't stop moving. And it's really shaped the way that I view rest, or the way that I have viewed rest in my life, as it being something that is bad, or that I am lazy, or that I should push and push and push. And then, when you don't get results, try harder, be stronger. And I say this with all the love in the world because, man, I come from a line of women who are Vikings. They had to be this mentally tough to survive. They had to learn how to have babies in the wild and to be able to keep them alive and to keep going from all the generations. I come from some tough women. I come from some tough stuff. And so I get this mentality, but the truth is that it's not really useful anymore. Right? It's not really useful because that's just survival programming, and you're here, you made it. Guess what? Congratulations. Woohoo! You get to step into being the creative force in your life now, right? You get to step into that because when you step into the label of creator, your past is over, right? Your past is irrelevant. But the way that we have structured ourselves is from these instructions in our blood and bone passed down up to 7 generations. And we're living out these instructions that we didn't even create. My mom didn't create that instruction. My grandma probably didn't even create that instruction all the way down the line to stay alive. But it's come through. And now, yes, my grandma lived to almost 101 and she never stopped moving. And that woman still wanted to get a job when she was 100 at American House and wanted to fold laundry. She didn't want to stop moving. And in fact, she actually was outside doing what she loved in one of the last moments where she was conscious in her life. She was moving, she was walking, she loved it. But when we start to beat ourselves up or not allowing ourselves the recalibration and the rest and the receiving and the releasing, we're not honoring our women. We're not honoring our feminine energy. And let me tell you, through my experience over the past couple of weeks, it has been hot. It has been uncomfortable. I started strength training and oh, there's soreness and all of this stuff. And yet there's things that I feel like I have to do. I have to do this and I have to make this much money. And I've got all these things going on and all these pieces and blah, 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 blah. And then rest. And I would go, okay, it's time for the body to rest. And what was happening in that moment when I was like uncomfortable and just, getting all twitchy and everything on the inside and just not just, ugh, It's because I wasn't honoring myself. I wasn't honoring what my body needed. Let me tell you that I never used to listen like this. I was like, headphones on, I'll push past the pain, push, 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 push. That was me, trying to control everything, all of it. Forcing. But force doesn't work, babe. Force doesn't work. And we can see that in ourselves, right? And we can also see this in the world that's outside of us. And I want you to just honor that because, like, right now, where I am, with all of the new things that I'm doing and all of the habits that are changing, the things that are the new pathways that are being created and solidified, the embodiment piece that's happening, there's a lot of recalibration that needs to happen. Right. And so I really need to be aware and to listen to my own body to tell me what it needs. But when we're trying to force things and avoid things and fix things and judge things, we miss it. And we're not listening to the right voice, babes. The right voice comes from in here, not up here. So if you're in here and you're just going around and around and around in the loop, just understand that you're not broken, you're not wounded, you're just structured. You're just structured. And if wherever you are in the structure right now, this is one thing that I wish that, instructions could have come through sooner, feel like, but, that's okay. I'm getting them now. That rest is not a weakness. And a lot of the times, if you're a type A personality, if you're like an overachiever, we don't want to rest. We want to keep moving. We don't keep got to keep going, got to keep going. And this is coming from an untrue place of approval, seeking just instructions like this that just do not serve our highest good, because rest sometimes is exactly what we need. But we've been conditioned to think that rest is bad, that we must work harder to get ahead, but rest is where creation happens. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, imagine we're planting an apple tree and we go out there and we take the seeds and we put it in the ground and we cover it up and we nourish it with water. And maybe we nourish it with some sort of fertilizer. We nourish it with sustenance. And the next day, we don't go out there and dig up the seed to see if it's doing anything. No, it's in the rest where creation happens. And it takes whole masculine and whole feminine energy. There is action and inaction. But here's where I think the whole law of attraction, manifestation, energy, vibe, spiritual stuff is leading people a little bit astray and getting them caught and having to go back into their lifetimes and fix these things and fix themselves and heal themselves and understand where they came from, where we search for the meaning of why and where we came from. And the truth is that all of that is just still rooted in your past. Right? It's rooted in your past. But when you step into the label of creator, when you step into your creative force, you're making the shift from being the oldest version of your past self into the youngest version of your future self. And whatever your family line is, absolutely you can connect to them. And you're in the family constellation. You can't belong any more or any less to them. And really, you can just choose to honor them in new ways, in creations of love instead of contracts of pain and suffering. But you got to let the body rest. You got to let the body recalibrate. And this is the last thing that we do in our society, because we're just going out there like digging up the seed every day. Does it doing anything yet? Is it doing anything yet? And by doing that, we're actually like hinting our own growth. So that's kind of what I mean when I talk about the masculine and feminine energies. We're going to talk about like the actions of it, because planting the seed, tilling the earth, that's masculine. Designing the garden and the invisible, feminine. Nourishment, receiving, feminine. Growing the fruit, feminine. Picking the fruit, masculine. Both have been distorted through survival programming. And when we don't honor them both, we're disconnected. We're disconnected. And this is where it seems like we then are operating from what I would call that wounded masculine and wounded feminine. That's the unconscious wound. But when we honor both of them in our creation process, and remember, your worth has never been up for debate. This is just the creation process. Creation process takes both whole masculine and feminine energy to create. And when we honor both of them, we find creative flow. We get the fruit at the end. We get to taste the fruit at the end. We get to savor the fruit at the end. And then we allow the plants to fall at the end of their season, and then we can plant new stuff. We can choose from lots of flavors. And this is actually how balance and alignment is achieved. But you have to embody who you really are first, and you are the creative force within, babe. Whether you're using the label as man, woman, them, they, us, we, however you identify you as what follows the I am, your worth has never been up for debate. We just got it wrong. We got it wrong. And we've just created a really sophisticated way of suffering, because anything that reinforces the idea that you're not it or that you need fixing, it's just a sophisticated form of suffering. So let's go into uncovering the wounded feminine and masculine energies. So what are the wounded masculine and feminine energies that I'm talking about? How we've been conditioned to operate from a place of survival, stress, and lack. We've ignored the flow of our natural energy because we've been stuck in fight or flight. And we have a lot of these emotions. The truth about our emotions, stress, overwhelm, frustration, those things aren't bad. Those things aren't bad. They were simply messages that were for our body. They're messages from our body. And when we honor them, we can let them pass through without getting stuck in an emotional cycle of self-sabotage. Because what we have conditioned in our nervous systems is not to allow us to receive the emotional payoff that we actually desire. So we can create the thing, the money, the relationship, we can create the thing that we think that we want, that we think that we're going to love. But when we don't honor and recalibrate and rest and allow our nervous system to actually recalibrate to the desire that we're trying to create, we can create the thing, but we won't allow ourselves to feel it. We'll still feel stressed, overwhelmed, frustrated, because we haven't allowed them to move through our body. We haven't released them. We haven't allowed ourselves to receive new emotions of pleasure, play, power, presence. We haven't allowed ourselves. This is an embodiment process. This is the shifting process. So when we honor them, we can let them pass through without getting stuck in an emotional cycle of self-sabotage. And again, we just haven't taught ourselves how to do this. So I want to talk about balance here, and speaking as, and not that I pretend to know the full scope of what this means, however, but these are the things that I've learned about myself along my journey, is that I am considered a master number 11, which in some archetypes is called the wounded healer. Big fucking shocker there. And if you know me, you know. And also, in human design, a manifesting generator, like not shocking. If you know me, you know, and a Libra, which is all about balance. So here's one thing that I've learned about balance in my life, being a Libra who has always strived to be balanced in my life, is that the more you try and be balanced in your life, the more unbalanced you get. Because the truth is with masculine and feminine energy, there's a flow to it. And I want you to picture like the yin and the yang. There's like a natural flow to it. It's moving. And so I was always trying to balance this, good and bad, right and wrong, ego, self-conscious, and feeling like the more I tried to balance, and then the more like the ups and the downs happened, because the swings would be so up and so down and everything. But what I have found is that when I honor the feminine energy, when I need the feminine energy, and when I honor the masculine energy, when I need the masculine energy, right? We make space for receiving. We recalibrate that. And let me just tell you, in the creation of Spiritually Kinky, I have moved into a receiving state in my own body, with my own touch, with my own energy, with my own thoughts, with my own emotions, with my own essence. I have moved into this beautiful state of receiving where I am just, my energy and my body are just opening up. And they're opening up in this beautiful way of just softness and energy that I have never actually experienced before. And I'm also honoring the masculine and listening to when I need to take the action, the inspired action to pull the weeds or whatever the masculine energy is in creation. When I honor that in myself, I'm just in flow. I'm just in flow, and it works out. It just works out. And wherever you are in this, I just want you to also understand that you created in the invisible first. So there is going to be this recalibration, this alignment process of you in your seed and aligning to the sapling and aligning to the abundant forest that you can't see. And you might feel really lost, and you might feel like you're not in the right place at the right time. And I promise you, babe, if you're listening to this, you are. Get the guide, get the blueprint, check it out. If you need assistance, my AI guides are there for you. I am there for you. I promise you, you are already in the shift, babe. That's why you've been feeling so wobbly. And so what do I mean when I say the shift? I mean moving from problem solving to the creative structure. The shift happens when we're moving from survival mode into creative mode. And this is a whole complete transformation, and it's happening. And if you know about structure and you're sensitive to energy and you're paying attention to people's words and all the stuff that's moving, like, this is the shift. This is the higher consciousness shift. We're in it, babe. Like, we are in it. We're in it, in it, in it. And people are waking up all over the place. And it's beautiful because hearts are igniting. And babe, this is how we move forward in the world, right? Because we can consciously choose to create our future together, or we can keep unconsciously creating our future that looks a hell of a lot like our past. And I don't know about you, but I'm personally ready for something new. I love people, and I think that we've got some amazing potential, but you know what? You have to claim your birthright. And if you're the one in your family, and this is who I'm speaking to, if you're the one in your family that's ready to create and claim that first generational success of health, of wealth, of happiness, of love, and you know this in your soul that you are the first in your family to do this, and you're ready to claim, I am the one, then chances are, if you're here, I'm probably your guide. So bet you can figure out the next action step to take. But the first stone is that you are whole. You are whole creative force energy, babe. Your worth has never been up for debate. And that's the foundation you got to create from. It's always been it. You just forgot. You just forgot. You forgot. You fell for the pretending. So how do we honor both energies in our life? Well, we have to embrace the voice and the action that it tells us to take. And we create that from our desired result. We create that from creating a life that we love, giving ourselves permission to play in that. And we do that from our feminine of imagination. We do that from our feminine of creation, of creativity. And when the men step up and they hold space for this, like the men are stepping up and holding space for this as online creators, is mind-blowing to me. And I love that they're doing this. And that's amazing, because when you do this, you start creating the life you've always dreamed of. And if you're a woman out there and you're like, well, I don't have that male energy around me, babe, you find it in yourself. You do this work. You align with your true choices. You give yourself permission to create the relationship that you know you want. You allow yourself, you give yourself permission, consent to do that. And that is often the hardest part. That is often the hardest part. But I want to remind you, and this is key, is anything that tells you that you need to be more, do more, be more, have more, before you can have what you want is just reinforcing a false identity. Babe, you are already whole ass complete energy. You are already whole. You are already it. When you forget, put your hand over your heart, come back to me, come back to listen, plug in, because this is the truth. So, honoring the feminine energy. So I love this, magnetizing the mirror, because when you honor your feminine energy, you're going to magnetize the man who aligns to your frequency. And I used to hate this spiritual talk. I resisted it so much because I didn't understand it. And I did understand it, but I didn't embody it. And it just used to really piss me off because I wanted to be at a different frequency so bad at my own time. Control, control, control. But everything is frequency, babe. You are literally made of stardust. Everything is frequency. So when you become and embody your feminine energy, and that doesn't happen by rejecting the masculine energy, that comes from accepting the masculine in yourself, honoring the feminine in yourself, which what I find is in survival mode, most women are not doing. And that's okay. You're not broken. You just haven't learned how. But you'll magnetize the man who aligns with your frequency, who actually holds space for your receiving, for your flow, for your softness. And I've been witnessing this in my male friends for the past couple of months. And it's been absolutely amazing to see this shift and to see how everybody's relationships are shifting. It's beautiful because they're just holding space for each other in a new way of receiving and flow and softness. And so are me and my friends. And it's just beautiful. So the power of the masculine is honoring the feminine. Men who honor the feminine energy in themselves and in women create space for safety, devotion, and love. Now, we've gotten this really distorted with all of our labels because this is just energy. And what we want to experience in the outside world, we have to be willing to experience in the inside world first. That's the magic, right? And everybody's looking around pointing fingers and saying, we got to fix this, we got to do this, this needs to do this. And then the truth is it starts in here. It starts in your heart, you, the listener, right now. Starts in this embodiment first. And then when you create it in the invisible, when you're allowed to receive it in the invisible, you can turn it around and bring it into the physical. And then beyond that, everything else is just above my pay grade. So, but I want to remind you that if you are listening to this, you are part of the first generation to step into health, wealth, and love in your family. And you can choose to either resist it and be part of your family by resisting it, or you can choose to be part of your family by being it. Because, babe, you are the one who is breaking the cycle. You are in the shift. So if you've been feeling all the feels and you've been feeling all the wobbliness and you're ready to step into the next stage, then wherever you're listening from, or send me a message, comment shift below, and I will send you my shift happens guide. And from there, you can map out where you are in the shift and what to expect during the process. The other thing I would love to share with you too is just an understanding of what happens in your body as you are going through this shift, because there are a lot of physical symptoms that I believe are getting misdiagnosed, and it's because you are in a transformation and not because you actually have a diagnosis that they're giving you the medication for. So if you want that list, let me know. I've got that as well. I just want you to know this is where you have to honor your body. You have to honor your inner knowing. And some of the stories that I've heard, unfortunately, with our systems that aren't really working is people are experiencing things and they don't know why, and their doctors don't know why, and they're getting caught in these medication loops because they're just trying to throw all these things at it. And I truly believe that some of these things are because of the energetic shift and the transformation that we are in right now. And again, I don't pretend to know, above my pay grade. how the stars are aligned in destiny and God's, grand design. Like, that's just above my pay grade. I have a knowing for what I know, and I know that you are the creative force within. I know that I am the creative force within, and I know that our true nature and purpose is to create here, because when we create, and this is just follows the natural laws of creation, when we create, we organize in a more harmonious way because we recognize ourselves in each other. And that I know is truth, whatever you want to call it. So, as always, guys, I love you. And if nobody has told you today, I see you, I feel you, and I absolutely love you. And I'm here for you. I am here for you. And we've got multiple ways that you can lean in and get the support you need at whatever level you're at. And what I want to remind you of is there is no moment of perfection. There is no moment of readiness. You are in this shift, babe. You are on your journey of transformation, whether you're on your first journey of achievement or whether you're on your journey of contribution. But make no mistake, babe, you are on your super conscious hero's journey, and you came here to create. So I would love for you to take the next step with me, but it's your choice and you got to be the one to choose. I know what I'm choosing. So, as always, so much love, all of your support, comments, all the likes, loves, so appreciated as we continue to grow and can continue to share this message out there, because I truly believe that this is the message, this is the love that the world needs right now. So, I'm willing to let my light shine for love because I love people and I love humanity. And I would love to see us just really step into this new higher level of consciousness. And I'd love to see us do that in a little bit more of a pleasurable, playful partnership way. Because some of those beat downs that we experience on our hero's journey, they can be some tough stuff. They can be some tough stuff. And I know that you're going to get back up. And I know that it's okay if you fall down, but the truth is that I'd rather be there with a helping hand to help you up and a smile than trying to keep you down or kick you down or anything like that. All I can say is the best thing, the most innate superpowers that you have that you can cultivate and learn how to use with me, with Chris Duncan, with any one of his magnetic mind and recode coaches, is to harness the power of your choice, your focus. And when you do that and you really claim who you really are and you claim your true power, you'll get into this state of creating in flow in a creative structure. And it's so much easier than force. So, and guess what? You can rest. It's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. So, hopefully, as more and more people understand this internally, you're going to start seeing it reflected more externally. But here's a message to people that feel like all they're seeing is everyone that's in the problem structure right now and the problem focus and complaining, and that's who you're surrounded by. I just want to remind you, babe, that you are the light, you are the power, and just keep creating from what you love. Keep following your heart, and everything that you need will show up when it's meant to. It will. It will. I promise. I promise. I promise. So, all right, until next time, next episode, I love you.